Okay, so again, my name is Mandy Melton. I'm a counselor at TCC Trinity River campus, and we're going to be talking about gratitude and joy. So, a very different topic from the usual, just because there's been so much going in our world and pressing in on us. So, we're going to talk about something lighter today, and I'm going to kind of get us into some research. We're going to talk about how you can grow in gratitude and joy and some benefits, and then I'll close with some resources. So, as I stated before, I would really love to hear from you as we go along. Would love to hear, any conversation or feedback. So, and I've put up in the chat a survey that I would love for anyone to fill out as we kind of go along and towards the end. So let's delve in here. So let's talk about some research on gratitude. A lot of my information that I have put together with this presentation comes from Brene Brown. Some of you may be familiar with Dr. Brown. She's a well-known social worker and researcher that's based out of Houston, Texas. But she's done extended research on various topics, from gratitude and joy to vulnerability, just a lot of different areas. And over the past 12 years of her research, she has found that people kind of describing themselves as joyful were actively involved in some kind of gratitude work. So that really got her thinking. Before her research, she thought the relationship might show if you're joyful, you should be grateful. But it was very opposite of what she thought it would be. And I love this quote. It's not joy that makes us grateful, it's gratitude that makes us joyful. So that really resonates with what Dr. Brown discovered. So let's dive into a little bit more here on gratitude research. Now, a lot of this comes from a positive psychology model. So positive psychology and researchers in the past few decades have found a connection, sort of an overwhelming connection between gratitude and good health. Now, positive psychology is a relatively new research subspecialty, and the goal is to help the person reach his or her greatest potential. So that's kind of where we're coming from when we talk about this. And Brene Brown puts it really eloquently here. Let ourselves be seen, deeply seen, vulnerably seen, to love with our whole hearts, even though there's no guarantee to practice gratitude and joy in those moments of terror. To be this vulnerable means that we're alive. So a lot of her quotes and information has really struck home with me. There's so much research out there. We could just kind of keep going on, but certainly you can kind of take a deeper dive if you like. There's a lot of great websites on positive psychology out there. But let's get into talking about growing gratitude and joy, that practical application and what we can do with it. So growing gratitude and joy. Now, initially, this may be kind of difficult, but a lot of research that Dr. Brown did and a lot of what positive psychology talks about says you should spend a day listening to your internal dialogue, which is really valuable. I have found it's very empowering for the clients and students that I've worked with over the years to really just spend some time listening to your thought life. You don't have to listen to everything you hear or come up with. Does your thought life look depleting or empowering? So asking those questions are really important. Do you spend time on the could, would, should, what ifs, or do you focus on the present moment? So really kind of listening to that internal dialogue, that self-talk. The what ifs just don't empower us, they deplete us. Guilt does not produce love. Guilt stops us from fully living in the moment. And learning to identify your internal your internal dialogue and conversation is valuable. replacing guilt with kindness. I am strong, loving, courageous. These messages are the ones that we need to be, putting inside of us. Give yourself that gift. So that's one way to grow gratitude, is to begin to listen to that internal dialogue. What's going on? Do a deeper dive with this. Also, when we're talking about growing gratitude, we need to be specific and intentional. Show up for you and others. Schedule a daily, weekly time frame for gratitude and commit to it. Gratitude brings joy for you and others around you, so why not make this a part of your routine? Also, research indicates and tells us that a new routine does take roughly 6 to 8 weeks. So growing gratitude is going to take some time, but it's well worth it, definitely to commit to. So let's talk a little bit more here. So what else about growing gratitude do we need to know? Well, practicing gratitude is the next step. And these are some ideas that you can begin to kind of think on to practice gratitude. Say your blessings out loud with family and friends, a part of your, daily life. I like to do this with my family and my girls specifically. My oldest is 5, and she really just enjoys doing that on a daily basis. And we do it actually at dinner time. So it's a great way to kind of start the evening. Create a gratitude journal. This is another way. If you feel more empowered about writing down something, create a journal and begin to journal some thoughts out for all of that. Recall important people and then mentally thank them. You don't necessarily have to thank them in the moment, but if you just want to recall that to your mind and your consciousness, and then begin to say, you know what, this is someone I really appreciate. That in of itself is a good start. You could even consider creating, a vision board with all areas that you're thankful for. That's just another idea that comes to mind. Another way to grow gratitude and to practice this is to begin writing thank you notes. We talked about journaling, but you can actually write a thank you note out to someone to show appreciation. Praying, meditation, all of these are ways to begin to get that gratitude out and in the open. So to begin to really focus on those areas that you can be grateful for. There's so many more ideas out there, but these are just a handful to begin to kind of get you thinking, on gratitude. So what about benefits of gratitude? Oh, there are so many different benefits of gratitude. Get on the right slide there. It went over to the wrong one. So some benefits of gratitude. Just inviting gratitude into your world opens up a window to joy, to deeper, meaningful conversations. I mean, this is something we would all anticipate. But because our worlds are so much in a hustle, bustle, challenges, pain, suffering, we need to be able to just stop and invite it into our world and cherish and treasure those moments. They're often forgotten or misplaced. The truth is, awful things happen and hurt terribly, but it also provides us a way to regroup, work through that pain, and recall the beauty in our life. So again, those meaningful conversations, that's a huge benefit. Some other benefits of gratitude. I really, really like this. This is one of my favorites. Brené Brown talks about joy collected over time fuels resilience, ensuring that we'll have reservoirs of emotional strength when hard things happen. That's a powerful, powerful statement. Every one of us can use joy, resilience, and more emotional strength. So that's something to remember when we're thinking about the benefits. And this quote is also equally powerful. Find out where your joy resides and give it a voice far beyond seeing. For to miss the joy is to miss all. Just to really, let that soak in. Both of those are such powerful statements. But resilience is something we could all use right now. So why not actively, participate and begin that gratitude journey so you can connect more with joy and then have reservoirs of emotional strength when things happen. So it's a very powerful concept and thought. Some other benefits of gratitude, it just makes you more aware of your emotional and thought life. Live in the present. By living in the present, you're instilling hope. And there are times when we need to process things that we've been through, certainly, but there's a time to kind of begin to move past some of those, so that you can enjoy and embrace the present. Another area of benefit is you're moving away from this dread and fear and negative thought patterns. This quote is really powerful right next to it, that Dr. Brown says, and so I'm going to read it to you. It's very lengthy, but it's well worth just kind of soaking that in and taking it in. Joy is not a constant. It comes to us in a moment, often ordinary moments. Sometimes we miss out on the bursts of joy because we're too busy chasing down the extraordinary moments. Other times we're so afraid of the dark, we don't dare let ourselves enjoy the light. A joyful life is not a floodlight of joy. That would eventually become unbearable. I believe a joyful life is made up of joyful moments gracefully strung together by trust, gratitude, and inspiration. She's got some really, really deep thoughts on joy and gratitude. So these are things to just kind of really let just resonate with you today, and to begin to think more on how you can cultivate and grow gratitude and joy. So another benefit of gratitude and joy is slowing the pace down. We're all so busy and there's such a push. So taking time to savor the moment. Don't rush and keep the pace going like you're on a highway of life all the time and you can't stop. A gentle pause for you and your loved ones, it creates a healthy balance. One idea that I love to do with my family is to just put away devices for a period of time. It takes so much of your time and energy. So just setting aside some devices. I like to do this in the evenings when we have dinner time and when we actually do our gratitude time. My daughter always knows that my husband and I put our devices away. We put those to the side, and we just specifically spend time with our girls. And then that's our time when we do that ritual with the gratitude. So that's just something to think about because, sometimes we have so much coming at us. So when is a time during the day, during the week, that you can set aside those devices to really put and pour into, those special moments with your loved ones, so that you can embrace gratitude. But I love this idea of slowing down, putting the devices aside to kind of cultivate and grow that more. So something to think about. Slowing it down a bit is definitely a benefit. So I've talked about everything from kind of the research, talked about also gratitude as a whole and some ways that you can begin to grow that, and then some benefits. There's so many other benefits out there. There's even some physical benefits that I haven't talked about yet. As you begin to harness more of this gratitude, positive psychology actually mentions some physical benefits that you begin to see your body. It just is healthier in general. I did not add that slide in there, but that's just sort of a freebie. I wanted to make sure that you knew about that piece of it too. That's important. And then I have one last couple of slides here that I'll share with you, just some resources and a quote. A lot of what I've taken today, like I said, is from Dr. Brown. She has a podcast that's absolutely wonderful. If you're interested, you can check her out. It's BreneBrown.com, and she really visits with various different people, well-known, maybe not so much known to us all, but she will interview them, talk about these areas of vulnerability, joy, gratitude, and other areas. She's got some great books out too, some that I have read that I thought you would enjoy that connects with these topics. Daring Greatly, The Power of Vulnerability and Rising Strong. All of that connects and deals with a lot of the research that I've mentioned today, that she talks about, and some of the areas that she mentions on growing gratitude and the benefits. One last quote here to leave you with. When we numb hard feelings, we numb joy, we numb gratitude, we numb happiness. So another powerful quote from Dr. Brown. So that is all of my slides. I welcome any conversation or feedback. I thank you all so much. You're welcome to put any comments up in the chat. I've got already in the chat the counseling survey. I would love for you to take the survey if you have a few moments. Shouldn't take much of your time. I will also here at the end just quickly give some information about our counseling services. We do have 2 full-time counselors on staff at Trinity River campus. We offer personal counseling. We work with academic suspension and financial aid cases, as well as career counseling. We wear kind of a lot of different hats and help with other specialized advising cases. We would love for you to reach out to us. We are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm sorry, let me back that up. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we have some weekend hours available for our folks as well. So we actually have some part-time folks that do Saturdays 9 to 1. So we would love to talk with you. Please feel free to reach out to us. My information is there on the screen. Can I answer any questions, any feedback? Thank you, Dr. Aaron. I appreciate it.
I mean, I'm going to watch this video again when you have it, like, recorded and available, because it was just really just great points, just hit home. So really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Aaron. I'm going to stop our recording now, speaking of which. Thank you all for your patience in regards to that.